everyone, welcome back to Gracie May's Tarot. So today we have a reading I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. This reading is going to be what will your future home be like? So we're going to find out, some clues about where you'll be living, who you'll be living with, what your place will look like, all that good stuff. So we have 3 groups to choose from today. For pile 1, we have the Weird Cat Tarot. For pile 2, we have the Golden Girls Tarot, and for pile 3, we have the Green Witch Tarot. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, meditate on the groups. You can set your own time frame from this. So if you're wanting to know, like, where will I be living in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, anything like that, I'm going to keep it open-ended because I know all of you will be moving at different points. You're not all going to be moving in 3 months, for example. So you can set your own time frame, or you can just watch the reading, and leave it open-ended, completely up to you. And yeah, and I will also say, for those of you who have been suggesting video topics, please be patient with me. I do make a thumbnail when I see the suggestion, and then if I respond to you, you know that I've seen it. I don't know exactly when I'll film the video. It just depends because I do a lot of pre-filming. So you may suggest a topic and you may not see it on my channel for a month, but just know it does take some time, but I greatly appreciate the suggestions and your patience. All right, let's get into the reading. All right, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Weird Cat Tarot. We're gonna find out what your future home will be like. I will say, just based upon the deck that you've selected, kind of wonder if you guys are big animal lovers or if you have a pet that you care a lot about. If you don't currently have a pet, you could be getting a pet when you move into your new place, or the person or people that you're going to be living with could be big animal lovers. So for example, if the next time you move, you end up moving in with a new romantic partner, or your current romantic partner, if you're not living with them, maybe they have a pet that they care a lot about, and so your home will be something that the pet enjoys, So like if you have a cat, for example, maybe your new home will have lots of windows, lots of natural light for your cat to watch the birds, watch the nature, people watch outside, cats love windows. So something like that, basically like your new place that you'll be moving into, your next home, will be a place that, if you have a pet, they'll quite like it a lot. So if you have a dog, maybe there'll be a big backyard, a fenced in backyard where they can just roam freely and don't have to be watched as closely. Something like that could be a possibility. I'll also say with the colors on here, could be that when you decorate, you use bright, colorful prints and patterns, and could definitely see this be my group that loves wallpaper. But maybe you just like to decorate with bright colors, or vibrant colors, or even if you like neutrals, there'll be something unique about the way that you put it together or the way that you layer textures. I think that will create a lot of visual interest in your home. I do feel like this is my more creative, quirky, artistic group. I would definitely say that, but I do think that you guys may even surprise yourself how good you are at interior design. So you could be pulling, inspiration from like Pinterest or Instagram and creating like a mood board. I just feel this excitement about decorating the space and making it your own. So I do think that you're gonna have, like, when you move into your next place, when you move into your next home, it's going to be a home for you. I feel like it's going to be a place that you stay at for quite a long time, if not your forever home. And I do think you'll have the ability to decorate it and make it your own. So it's not like, for example, like you're not going to be moving into a place where you have several roommates and there's a shared communal space and it's already decorated and there's no room for you to add your own touches. I don't see that being the case. I do feel like you'll have the ability to decorate the space. So it feels like it's going to be your own, or if you're sharing the space with someone else, kind of feels like they don't really care and you get to do what you want to do. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get into it. Pile 1, please Spirit, what will their future home be like? What do we need to know? Pile 1, please Spirit. And a huge thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages. I will say Gracie, my cat, is like confirming. She's like chilling beside me on her little flower cat tree. So yeah, I do think some of you guys are big animal lovers, or you'll end up getting a pet when you move into your new space that you just fall in love with, or it's your partner's pet and you guys are bonding. Something like that I could see definitely being a possibility. All right. Pile 1. My favorite time to film is on the weekends in the morning. Like, the neighborhood is so quiet. I have my coffee, especially when Gracie comes to hang out with me. Like, it's just so peaceful. It is not like this during the week when I'm trying to film. It's, I don't know, so much better early in the mornings. Pile 1. Your future home. Whoa, we're not going to take that many cards. I know sometimes it takes a while with shuffling, but this is really how I like to do it. 10 of Cups, aw. This is how I like to do it because, especially this is a general reading and I'm reading for other people, I really rely on the cards either flipping over or, you know, jumping out. I don't like to just do this and then start pulling from the top. I'll do that in a personal reading for myself, but when it comes to you all, I like to be very certain that those are the cards I'm meant to pull. I actually just want to start with these cards to begin with, and then we'll probably get some more tarot. But we have the 10 of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords. Okay, when I got very excited when I saw the 10 of Cups, because remember I said in the beginning, kind of feels like this is going to be your forever home, and this is confirming that to me. So this future home that we're talking about is where you're going to settle down. Like, this is going to be, you know, not to say you're never ever going to move again, but I feel like for your adult life, this is going to be your home, you know? This is where you're going to have your family. So even if you don't want children, again, that could be like your pet children, you know, your cat baby, your puppy, whatever the case. But even if you don't want children or you don't want pets, this just feels like where you're going to create your safe space, your sanctuary, your place of peace with the 4 of Swords. You're going to live somewhere that's very relaxing, very quiet, very soothing. It doesn't feel like you would be living somewhere like you wouldn't be living in the heart of the city where it's really loud and bustling. Doesn't feel like that. I don't even think you're gonna live in a noisy like suburban neighborhood, because you know suburban neighborhoods can be quite loud as well if there's like a lot of children, but it doesn't feel like that either. It feels very peaceful, very quiet. With the trees and the flowers here, that's a recurring theme in the Weird Cat Tarot. Could definitely see you living somewhere where there's a lot of natural beauty. So that could be a lot of trees are around, there could be a lake nearby, there could be, you know, you could be living in the mountains and you have a beautiful view. Yeah, regardless, it just feels like it's very quiet, very peaceful. You feel very at ease, and it does feel like this is my, kind of like, this is my nest. That's kind of the feeling. Like, it feels like your home is something you've taken quite a lot of care in developing. Like, it feels like it's not like you're rushing out and you move into a place and you're rushing out to buy a bunch of furniture, fill up the space. It feels like you've accumulated these things over time. You've selected them with care. With the 2 of Pentacles, feels like you've saved up. you know, and you're sort of creating these changes over time. You know, you're renovating the space, or you're taking your time to pick out certain paint colors or put up wallpaper, or you know, you're saving up for that coffee table that you really, really want. You know, stuff like that. It just feels like this home was created with care and love, and attention to detail is really coming through. And I think there's an emphasis here on, yes, is this space like aesthetically pleasing to me? Of course. You know, it's very much in your style. We've got that coming through quite a bit. But there's also an emphasis here on it being comfortable, and it being cozy, and it being inviting. Absolutely. It just feels like you're gonna feel very at peace in this new home, very at peace, very relaxed. And I do think there's a little bit of back and forth here in terms of like finances, because it feels like in some ways you're able to be quite frugal and DIY some stuff, save some money, cut some corners here and there, in a way that just saves you money, not in a way that's cheapening the space. But then in other ways, I feel like you're splurging. So I feel like there's a nice balance there between how much money you're investing into the place, but not so much that it is not financially good for you. Like, you're not going to be like house poor, if you guys have ever heard that expression, where you go and you purchase a home that's way out of your budget, or you have an apartment that the rent is so high, where you know, you can't afford to go out to dinner, or you can't afford to go to the movies because you have to just stay at home because, you know, the mortgage or the rent is so high. With the Two of Pentacles, that makes me feel good about, you know, in terms of financially how this is going to play out for you. It doesn't feel like you're making that mistake. It feels like you're taking a really balanced approach to your finances in terms of this home. And with the Ten of Cups here, I mean, it feels like even if when you move into this home you don't have a partner, feels like your partner will eventually be moving into that space with you. Like, this feels like where you live with your future spouse. Like, this feels like if you want to be married, or your life partner is probably a better term for it. You know, whoever you want to settle down with and have that long-term commitment with, does feel like you're gonna have that with the Ten of Cups. Like, this feels like a family home. Whatever family means to you, it feels like a family home. So I do think you're going to be sharing this space with some sort of romantic partner, with a pet, with your children. Again, whatever family means to you. Okay, we have the Ten of Wands, we have Death, and we have the Five of Wands. I think this is a real departure for you, honestly. Like, I feel like this home is such a blessing. It feels like Six of Wands is your bottom of the deck. It feels like something that you really prayed for, something that you worked hard for. It feels like, kind of feels like this is the first place where you've ever lived where you truly feel at peace, where you truly feel like, yes, this is where my soul is meant to belong. Feels like with the Five of Wands, like maybe growing up you had to share a bedroom, maybe you moved from house to house a lot, maybe you just didn't have that stability, and so home became something that was like a dream to you. I'm thinking of The House on Mango Street. If you never read that book, I highly recommend it, even as an adult. It's such an incredible book. It's short and it's told in a series of vignettes, and so basically this girl growing up is sharing her experiences, but she has this vision of a home. She has this vision of a home, and she says that when she gets that home, you know, the safe haven that she'll make it, and she'll open it up to other people, and she'll share her home. Anyone can come by for tea or lunch, and she'll welcome them in. This sense of warmth and community, right? And the author is true to her word about that. My English teacher, I want to say she lives in Texas. That could be completely and entirely wrong. I don't know why I feel like she lives in Texas. I could be wrong about that. But the author, her name is Sandra. she, what was I saying? Oh, my English teacher, she actually went to her house and knocked on her door, and she did. She was like true to her word. She invited her in, and I think they had like a cup of coffee together and, you know, some cookies or whatever. But that's like kind of the feeling here, is that home became something more than just a physical structure to you. Like, there's this longing for home, this longing for belonging, this longing for like, where will I find my peace of mind? Where will my soul feel like it can finally be safe? Where will my heart feel a sense of joy, a sense of comfort, a sense of security? And I think home to you means more than just a home. I think it means family. I think it means support. And so I feel like, you know, you had to compete for resources a lot in your life. And this, you know, you put a lot of hard work in to get to this place, this 10 of Cups, but you've made it, you know, and there was a lot of transformation, a lot of healing that had to occur. But you're finding success, you know, your dream home, whatever that looks like to you. Sorry, the sirens are so loud. I was just talking about how peaceful it is, and then the sirens go. But this feels like whatever your dream home looks like to you, it feels like you're finding that success. And it kind of feels like for some of you, you may not quite know where what that looks like. You may have some indecision about where you should move to, where you should go. And for some of you, I honestly suspect that if you're single right now and you're watching this and you're unclear of like where you should move, but you have an idea of like how you want to feel, but you don't know necessarily the physical location that's going to help that, or maybe there's some faraway place that you've been feeling called to, but you're not quite sure why, and your rational, logical brain is telling you like, no, that's impractical. These are all the reasons why that move would be really hard. Wouldn't be maybe like financially practical or for whatever reason. But I feel like for some of you who are single, whoever this future partner is, they're going to pull you. They're going to show you this is where we should go. This is where we should settle down. And it could even be the place that they're from. You know, they could be long distance to you in some way. This is very positive, pile one. Okay, let's get your oracle here. What do we need to know about your future home? What will this look like, your future home? With death here, this is a very specific message. Could just be for like literally one of you watching this. But this is Scorpio Mars energy with this death here. Could be that some of you are coming into an inheritance that helps you purchase this home, or maybe you're inheriting a family home from someone else, or it could be that future partner of yours who is inheriting some sort of family home, or even just money to purchase a home. All right, pile one. Already. This future home, what will it look like? What do we need to know? Oh man, again, it's going to be the home of your dreams. It's your dream home. And I think that for those of you who are a little bit more creative, you know, I think this home is going to bring out the artist in you. I think it's going to be a safe haven for you to create, for you to relax and unwind. But I also feel like just the space itself, like I feel like you're going to have space to create. So like if you're an artist, that could be like having a workshop area. If you're someone who loves to write, it's going to have like a nice like reading nook and office area where you can go and write. Again, like big windows. I'm seeing a lot of big windows, like fresh air. You know, you can open up the windows and there's no like loud noises from outside. You know, it feels very peaceful. It feels a little bit isolated. You know, and there's a sense of whimsy to the place. There could be like kind of like like a sunroom or like a wraparound porch, and then you put up a bunch of wind chimes. You know, it just feels easy, feels relaxed, feels very peaceful. There could be like a little footpath, and then that leads to a pond or something like that. There could be like a nice gazebo outside, or a nice little separate shed where you have a little workshop, or where you can get away from like the bustling noise of the household. If you do have children, you can go and have, you know, your own like little separate haven for yourself when you need some me time. Stuff like that is coming through. I also think for those of you who are into plants or gardening, there's going to be space for that. That could even be a hobby or an interest that you develop later in life. You kind of get into like cooking your own food, and so you start growing herbs and vegetables, fruits, stuff like that. I'm just seeing someone like walk along a footpath, and then they're picking apples or something like that. Again, that may not be for all of you, and that could even be a hobby of this future partner that we're picking up. That could be their interest, and so they get you into it a bit. Again, lots of plant life, lots of flowers that's coming through as well. Okay, let's get, and also with the moon here, I don't know why. I feel like, you know, when you're in a more like isolated or rural area, you can see the stars so much more clearly than you can like in the middle of the city. So I think that's something as well. Like you can actually go stargazing where you're at. The air just feels cleaner. And not, again, that you're going to be living out in the middle of nowhere, but just that it doesn't, again, feel like a super urban area. And it also feels like a simplicity to where you live. Again, like it doesn't feel like because when you're in the city, there's so many options, right? Like there's so many places where you can shop for food, where you can go for a night out, where you can go shopping. And it feels like a simpler, easier, quieter way of living where you're at. Like you could actually walk to certain places, or, you know, there's a local farmer's market, and that's where you can go for like fresh produce, or, you know, maybe there's only 2 grocery stores instead of, I don't know, 20 plus, you know, something like that. It just feels like a easier, quieter way of living here. Pile 1, what do we need to know about this future home of yours? Oh my gosh, new beginnings. Yeah, this entire, and again, you keep getting this repeated message of transformation. I feel like you guys have had a hard life in a lot of aspects. It kind of feels like you had to fight and claw your way out. So you may have come from a lower socioeconomic background where like owning your own home feels out of reach, or has been out of reach for your family members. But it feels like a phoenix from the ashes kind of moment, like this transformation. Feels like you've worked hard for this. You know, this wasn't handed to you on a silver platter. You worked hard for it. And it feels like a fresh start. It feels like a complete departure from what you're used to. You may be watching this reading and quite shocked by what I'm saying. Or maybe even there's a part of you that still doubts that something like this could be possible for you. But yeah, I feel like this new home that you would be moving into would be at a significant point in your life, like a fresh start, a new chapter in your life. When you move to this new home, it could be a complete overhaul for your life. You know, you could be entering into this new romantic partnership. You could be, you know, moving in with your partner. That's a big step. You could be starting a new job because you're moving to a new area, and so everything is different. Again, like it just feels like a complete departure from what your life has been. And it's the stage of your life where you feel like you're winning, which is Beautiful. It's very positive change. I want to underscore that for you in case change makes you nervous. Oh, best possible decision. Oh, I love to see that. Best possible decision. You may be, remember we got the Two of Pentacles in the very beginning, so there could be some indecision around moving. You know, you could be nervous. You know, for those of you resonating with moving in with a partner, that can make you nervous, right? That can make you a little bit worried, like, is this going to be a mistake? Can I trust this person? You know, are we gonna make it? Or you could be indecisive if you're moving to a totally new area. Am I going to be happy in this new place? You know, it could be a significant change of pace for you. Maybe you're used to city urban life, and the idea of moving somewhere more secluded, closer to nature feels, you know, completely almost unimaginable. Like, what will that be like for me? Will I actually be happy there? Am I romanticizing this? Or if you've been called to another country, something really dramatic like that, you're like, is this going to be the right move for me? You know, am I romanticizing this? You know, why am I being called to this place? I can't explain it with my logical, rational mind. It's just my heart, my soul is pushing me towards this place, and I'm not quite sure why. This is reassuring you. This is going to be a positive new beginning in your life. You're going to feel successful. You're going to feel happy. You're going to feel like you won something. This house, this home feels like you won something. And it's going to be the best possible decision for you and your long-term happiness. All right, let's get one final card to represent how your home will be blessed. What blessing will be on your home, please, Spirit? And this is Our Lady of Guadalupe deck, the Virgin Mary deck. So we'll ask her, how will she be blessing your home? Our Lady of Guadalupe, how will she be blessing your home? And if you just want to take this as a blessing from the universe, that's completely fine as well. How will your home be blessed? Pile 1. How will your home be blessed? How gorgeous are these cards, by the way? Oh, Our Lady of Sacred Waters. Okay, and there's so much blue here. Again, like even here, like the blue and the purple. You could be living somewhere where, again, like you can see the night sky, or you're by some sort of natural body of water, whether that's a stream, a river, a lake, the beach, the sea, whatever. There could be some water nearby. That could be a hint for some of you about where you'll be moving to. But I really feel like for a lot of you watching this, there's either going to be a significant person that enters your life, and in the form of like a romantic love interest, and they become your partner, and eventually, you know, you marry that person or you settle down with them, whatever the case may be. They are giving you that push towards this place, or you guys watching this already know where your soul has been calling you towards, and you just needed this reading to give you some encouragement. Yes, you're not crazy. Yes, we want you to go there. We're encouraging you to go there. But Our Lady of Sacred Waters. So this feels like a blessing on your emotions here. This is a blessing on your heart. This is a place where you're going to feel like you're in that spiritual alignment, where your chakras feel like they're balanced, you know. This is a home where you come, you know, from your busy day, like whatever has happened, and you come back to this home and you feel like a reset, you know, like you feel that blood pressure lower, you feel your heart rate, you know, come back to center. You know, this feels very grounding, feels very a place where you can safely create, you know, you can express that artistic side of you. You can feel inspired, you can feel peaceful, you can feel very rested. And it feels like, again, a place where there's harmony. Not to say that you and members of your family, your partner, your children, your pet, like whoever is living with you, whatever, again, family means to you, doesn't mean there will never be conflict, but it doesn't feel like a chaotic household where people are yelling and throwing things and there's a lot of disharmony. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like a very secure and stable and loving place, you know, where you can feel nurtured and you can be the nurturer, and it just feels very balanced, very balanced. Yeah. That's how your home will be blessed. I feel like if there is conflict, there will be a blessing on that will encourage mutual understanding and compromise and harmony, and also a blessing on your creativity and your connection to spirit. All right, pile 1, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brought you some clarity. I was so excited about filming this reading. I love the idea of home. I feel like that's been the driving force in my own life, and it was I really loved your energy, and it was a privilege to do this reading for you, so thank you for letting me do that. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel now is to do any of those things or to watch the ads. That's probably the biggest thing. But yes, I appreciate all the support, and yeah, I hope the rest of your day is absolutely wonderful. Take care, and I'll see you in my next one, pile 1. All right, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Golden Girls Tarot, and it looks like a Blooming Cat Tarot somehow got into your cards there. Sorry about that. That's from a reading I was filming yesterday. But it's kind of funny. It was, here, let me pull it out again. You guys got the Cancer card, and I always associate Cancer with the home. So that's actually kind of funny. But anyway, so just based upon the deck that you chose, so for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Golden Girls TV show, that's Dorothy, Blanche, Sophia, and Rose. They all live together, and so that could mean that when you move into your next home, maybe you do have roommates, but you would be good friends with these roommates. They may be very different than you, but you could have a real sense of like lifelong friendship type of bonds with these people where it feels like they're family, because they always say that on the Golden Girls, like it's not just friendship, it's not just roommates, we're family. So there could be this vibe of like found family. So it could be that the next living situation you're in could be aligning you with your soul family. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to live with other people, it could just be that your next home that you're moving towards, that you're moving into, will be in a community where you will meet those lifelong friends that feel like family, you know, those soul family members. You know, you'll be finding your tribe, finding a place where you feel that sense of community. You know, this would be a place where, you know your neighbors, you know, you work with people that you really enjoy. You're able to make real, genuine friendships. So that is actually very, very good news. But also, if you chose this deck, Golden Girls is set in Miami, Florida. So you could be moving somewhere where the weather's really warm, you know, where it's sunny most of the time, where you're by the water, you're by the beach. There's a lot of nightlife in Miami. You could be moving literally to Miami, or you could just be living somewhere where there's a lot to do, you know. It's like a tourist kind of destination, you know. You could be living somewhere where people go on vacation, you know, where people are like, oh man, I bet it's so cool to live there, you're so lucky. That could also be a thing. I will also say with the Golden Girls show, all of the women like have their own bedrooms and they're all decorated, you know, like according to their personality and what they like. And every time I watch the Golden Girls, like it's my favorite comfort show. Like if I'm sick, I'm watching the Golden Girls, you know. So I feel like even if you did have roommates, you would still have your own space where you could have your, you know, your personality shine, and it could feel comfortable to you. Because they're definitely like, they have a fairly large home. It's not, you know, they're not so cramped together. Let's see, what else? Oh, food. This is another kind of random message, but cheesecake is like a staple on the Golden Girls. And so it feels like this would be a home where there's a lot of yummy shared meals. The pantry, the fridge is always stocked. There's always something good cooking, something good smelling. And if you're like, I am not a cook, then this could be your future partner or those possible roommates I was talking about. Maybe someone really enjoys cooking. But I also just feel like your home would be a place where a lot of family visits, you have a lot of friends over. It feels like you have a lot of memories created in your home. There's a lot of shared experiences in your home. People like, oh, you have the kind of home where people gather for the holidays. Like, remember that time when we had that Thanksgiving dinner and this happened and that happened? So stuff like that just feels like there's a lot of warmth in your home. Yeah, I feel like that's everything I'm getting just from the deck that you selected. But let's get into it. And remember, this is a general reading, so anything I'm saying that just does not resonate, please leave it. All right, pile 2. What do we need to know about your future home, please, Spirit? Pile 2's future home, please, Spirit. What do we need to know? What can you share with us at this time? Pile 2. And a big thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages. Pile 2. And I'm even just thinking about on the show again, like they're always having like, different like club meetings and like charity functions at their home. They're always having parties. They're always just doing stuff. And so I feel like, again, like your home could be a gathering spot for friends, for family, for things that you're interested in. So like you could be hosting a book club at your home, or a charity event for the local animal shelter, something like that. It just feels like your home is kind of a bustling like gathering place. And let's actually clarify this 3 of Swords that's coming up here. Yep, okay. Oh man, I'm so excited for you all. Okay, I'm gonna put this here. So we have the 6 of Swords, we have the King of Swords, we have the 3 of Swords, and we have the Chariot. The 3 of Swords is clarified by this 3 of Wands. So I'll just go ahead and get right into it. The 6 of Swords literally talks about moving in a better direction, moving away from something, typically like physically leaving an environment that was toxic, unhelpful, a place that you had outgrown, a place where you didn't feel like you could, a place where you didn't feel like you could bloom, a place you didn't feel like you could grow, a place that you felt stagnant in. So sometimes that's a person, and again, sometimes that's a physical place, sometimes it's both. So I feel like when you move into your next living situation, you're leaving behind. This could be a breakup. If you're living with someone currently and you're not happy, this could be a breakup, you moving out and on your own. Dorothy is married to Stan, I think like 38 years, something very long. He cheats on her throughout the entire marriage. They have 2 children together. He ends up divorcing her, and she finds out from the divorce attorney, and he leaves her for like an airline stewardess. He breaks her heart. He is always trying to come back, and she's always having to be the bigger person. He's just they call him a yutz. Like that's how they view him. And so she leaves that behind though, she moves on. And even though he left her, he's the one who keeps trying to come back into her life after she's moved on. He won't let her go. Even in the very final season, he's still trying to come back when she's getting married to someone else. So for some of you, this could be a breakup, or it could be leaving behind a living situation where you have terrible roommates, where maybe you're living with family who like really put you down. Or maybe there's just something in your environment, like you're living in a place where you can't be yourself, you know, where you don't feel safe, where you don't feel like you're connected to where you're living for whatever reason. And so this means like you are literally moving to a better place. You're moving in a more positive direction. And it's a new adventure. It's a new start for you. And it feels like with the Three of Wands, this is a pretty significant move. You know, you're not moving down the street. You know, this feels like a pretty significant move. And you're leaving behind some heartbreak here. Like, I feel like this past could even be like your current living situation is causing you some heartache, some grief, some turmoil. Your heart's not happy. Your heart's not happy. And so this is very positive to get these cards that you're moving onto a better place, a new adventure, a fresh start. And it's something you've been contemplating for quite a while because we have the Three of Wands. So that means you've already been through the Two of Wands energy where you're in that contemplation planning mode. So this feels like it's almost like long overdue. It feels like you've been wanting to do this for quite some time. And the Chariot also talks about movement. It also talks about success. It talks about, should I stay or should I go? You know, you're in the driver's seat. This is your choice. No one's forcing you out of this. You know, you have to make that decision for yourself. And it feels like if you go after it, there's success on the horizon. You know, it's calling you to take control, take charge of your life. There's two options presented before you. Which way are you going to go? It's up to you. Let's clarify this King of Swords because I'm a bit curious about him. So this is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, and it's Divine Masculine. Let's find out. Can you clarify this King of Swords, please, Spirit? Let's clarify the King of Swords. I feel like your reading is very different than pile one. Your reading is unfolding like a story about how this move is going to come about. Whereas pile one was like very direct, like this is what your home is going to be like. Yours is more of like a narrative, which is okay. I definitely am always interested to see how different the stories are. I'm sorry, the piles are. Can we clarify the King of Swords, please, Spirit? Can we clarify this King of Swords, please, Spirit? Ah, Six of Pentacles. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have the Tower. So it kind of, not to scare you, but like if you don't make this decision for yourself, it kind of feels like Spirit is going to intervene. It's like Spirit is giving you the opportunity to make the decision for yourself, but if you don't, it's like Spirit's going to be like, okay, time for some tough love. Like we have to push them out of this living situation where they're so unhappy. This isn't resonating. You might need to select a different group because this message is pretty clear cut. But yeah, so this King of Swords, we clarified it with the Page of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. So two different ways I can read this. It honestly feels like this King of Swords is stepping in to offer some assistance. With the Six of Pentacles, this is a gift. This is someone sharing their resources. So there could be a King of Swords figure in your life. You know, maybe someone a bit older, someone a bit more mature, someone who has more financial resources, someone, even if they're not providing financial help, they could just be offering some solid words of advice. It is the King of Swords, so it could be, they could be giving you maybe a bit blunt advice, but I think it's going to be very helpful to you and going to help clear up maybe some of the possible indecision that you have around this move, or like which way should I go, what should I do. So any King of Swords figure in your life could be helping you out in that manner. Or this King of Swords could be you. You could be stepping into that role, cutting ties with the past and finally speaking your truth and following your truth and going after what you want. But it's definitely a new beginning, a new adventure, a complete new start with the Page of Wands. This is probably why it felt so daunting to make this decision, because it feels very life-altering, and it has this energy of like, okay, I'm starting over from scratch now. You know, like that's a big decision to make. And it feels like with the King of Swords, you would have really weighed out the pros and cons. You would have given some careful consideration and thought to this. Can we get any more details about what the next actual home will be like, please, Spirit? Can you share anything with us about it? Can we get just a bit more detail about this? I'm having to pull more tarot for you because of how this story is unfolding. Yeah, wow, you've been really anxious about this. It's kind of giving me the message that it's okay. I'm sorry about the sirens. It's okay that you're scared. Like, you can make this decision and still be terrified. You can make this choice, you can make this move and still be scared. You can be scared and you can do it anyway. There's this quote by Amy Poehler, and I hope I pronounced her last name right, but she has this quote. I believe it's her. It could be Tina Fey. I'm like 98% sure it's Amy. Bear with me, guys. But she has this quote where she says, like, you can wait until you get all your ducks in a row, or you can just grab whatever ducks you can find and just run like hell across the street. Like, you don't have to wait for all your ducks. You can still make it across the street with just a couple ducks. So, like, it's okay. You can be scared and do it anyway. Kind of a silly, silly analogy, but I think you get what I'm saying. Ooh, the Emperor. Yeah, it feels like you were taking charge of your own life. You are going to be somewhere where you have your own stability, where you call the shots. Like, this next home that you're going to be living in really feels like you have dominion. Like, you can make your own choices, make your own decisions. No one's fussing at you, you know, about leaving the lights on or fussing at you because they don't like the couch that you purchased. You know what I mean? It feels like you're in a space where you can call the shots. You know, you can kind of do what you want to do. No one's nagging you about things is what it kind of feels like. And it feels like you're going to feel more financially secure. And I think that's where maybe some of the anxiety is coming from. You're like, can I financially make it? If I do this move, am I going to be okay? And this is sort of reassuring that you will be. And it's funny because the monkey is supposed to be like this emotional support monkey. It's a whole like funny storyline in the Golden Girls, but it's saying like you can step into this leadership role in your own life. You can take charge and still need a little bit of comfort, a little bit of reassurance. You can carry your safety blanket with you. Like, you can carry this fear with you. You can carry this anxiety, you can carry the things that make you feel a sense of comfort. You know, like, you can do that and still make this change. You know, like, it doesn't have to hold you back. You can still feel like you need that safety net. Yeah, I mean, it feels like this is a huge change. Like, the Seven of Swords is one of the hardest cards in the minor arcana for me. And I say it's the hardest card because it's an uncomfortable energy. And usually it talks about lies and betrayal and, you know, people being dishonest and stealing from you in some manner, whether it's your energy, your time, your resources, your physical, material things, but stealing your joy, even your love, your kindness. But with this Seven of Swords, it kind of feels like when you make this move, you kind of almost like you have to sneak away, like you have to gather everything you can carry and you have to get out. Like, Spirit is telling you, just get out. Like, just make a run for it. Go. Gather up what you can carry, and if you have to leave some ducks behind, leave some ducks behind. Just take what's important and get out. Like, don't even have this over-attachment to these material things. Like, just get out, because you're creating a whole new life. the Fool card. You're creating a whole new life. You know, this is a complete fresh start for you. Kind of feels like you're gathering up everything you can fit into your car and you're just leaving, and you are starting over in a completely new and different place. Like, that's the energy. And it's almost like they're asking you to take a leap of faith here, and they're like, we're not going to tell you too much about where you're going to end up, but we want you to follow your heart. We want you to follow your joy, and just trust us. Take that leap of faith that you're going to be in a better living situation. Just take that leap of faith. So they're not like willing to tell me too much more. So we're gonna move into your oracle, because I feel like the Fool is a good ending place. But this is major arcana. This is 0. This is starting from scratch. So it's no wonder you are so back and forth, afraid, anxious, because I mean, it would be abnormal if you weren't afraid. You know, it's almost like they're telling me that fear, that anxiety isn't unnatural. Like, it's quite natural for you to feel that way, but don't let it hold you back. Understand that that's your ego trying to keep you safe, but we're asking you to take a gamble. It's almost like Spirit is saying, bet on us to help you, bet on us. You know, put your trust in us. Hand over the reins to us, you know, like, but you have to make the choice to do that, you know? And if you don't, feels like that Tower moment's gonna happen. Clarity. Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be this moment of reckoning where finally, all of a sudden, if you've been really torn about where you should go, it feels like you're gonna have this epiphany kind of moment that's like, this is where you're meant to be. Go there, do it. Go. Like, it feels like this call, like a call from the universe. Are you going to take it, or are we going to have to push you? So it's like they're giving you a choice, but it's not really a choice. Because if you don't act on it, sooner or later that tower is going to fall, because what you're living in now is not sustainable. Not to scare you, because the universe is trying, your guides are trying their best to help you, and luck is on your side. Like the Wheel of Fortune, luck is on your side. It's gonna take some luck. You're gonna need some help here, because it feels like it's hard. It feels like it's so hard, but you're gonna be so shocked that you're able to pull this move off. Abundance. There is so much abundance at the end of all this for you. Like, luck, fortune favors the brave. They're asking you to be courageous here. They're asking you to leave behind what isn't serving you. You have to let something go in order to receive this blessing they're trying to bless you with. So abundance means more than just financial security, right? It means more than just having a safe place to live. This is abundance in a sense of, we want you to have a community. We want you to have good people around you, and it doesn't feel like you've had good people around you. So we want to bring in love. We want to bring in friendship. We want to bring in a sense of family, that found family. We want to bring that to you. You chose the Golden Girls Tarot, for Pete's sake. Like, every single one of them. Dorothy. We've already talked about, right? Like how Stan broke her heart, and all of a sudden, like, she is living paycheck to paycheck, and, you know, she has to find a roommate quickly, right? Like, you know, what is she going to do? Rose, her husband dies. She doesn't have enough money to live on. She has to make the move from Minnesota to Florida. She's scared. Blanche, even though financially she's in a better position because she owns the home, she can't afford to upkeep it on her by herself, and that was the home she shared with her husband. She can't let it go. She has to quickly, you know, find some roommates, and that's a difficult process. And, you know, that required like a little bit of bravery there, like opening your home up to strangers and trying to find people to live with you. Even Sophia, like, her nursing home burns down, and so then she has to go live with her daughter and these other women she hasn't met before, or only briefly met. So I mean, all of them were kind of left high and dry in some capacity, and they had to make it work. They had to take a risk, they had to take a chance. And that feels like that's your story. But what they ended up with was so special. Money can't buy. Money can't buy the type of friendship and sense of family, the found family they found within each other. You can't buy that. It's so hard to come by. And it feels like Spirit is saying, you deserve that. You deserve to have found family. You deserve to have good people around you, not people who are being sneaky and who are hurting you and damaging you in some way. People who, smile in your face but laugh behind your back. People who, want to see you hurt. You deserve to be able to open your heart up and share that good-natured attitude, the happy-go-luckiness. You deserve to smile again is what they're telling me, and they want to help you. You have a much more intense message than pile 1. Again, I'm sorry that it's so different, but I feel like there's parts of this story that they're not quite ready to share with you yet. It almost feels like Wheel of Fortune, like there are some surprises in store for you, and it's almost like they're showing me it's almost like it's your birthday. Like it feels like a complete rebirth, a complete renewal. And as you go through this rebirth, it's like Spirit is planning this birthday party for you, and they have all these gifts lined up, all these blessings they want to give to you. But they have to wait for you to clear out the space so they can give you those gifts. And some of those gifts they're ready to tell you about, and other gifts they're holding back. They want it to be a surprise, is what they're telling me. And that's the analogy. All right, pile 2. Even the fact that you chose pile 2, when we think of the number 2, we think of connection. We think of our relationships, right? We think of balance, healthy relationships, healthy connections. Pile 2, what will this new home bring? What will be the energy in this new home? What do we need to know about pile 2's next home, their next living situation? What will their home be like? True love come to me. Yep. Love. True love. Yep. That's the biggest gift of all. Again, it's love. There's going to be a real sense of love. And again, I don't even think it's within just your home. I think it's the entire community, the entire place that you're living at. I think you're probably going to share this next home with someone. Even if you move into that home and you're not immediately with someone, it feels like a romantic partner would come in at some point. Especially because we have true love come to me, or you're at least going to be moving somewhere, falling in love with someone, and then even if you don't move in together right away, eventually you will, because it feels like, again, like that lifelong partnership is trying to come in. With fertility, again, this theme of rebirth, it feels like a whole new version, a lighter, happier version of yourself, is going to be emerging. It's like all of those weights of all those people who were telling you bad things about yourself, that you weren't good enough in some way, people that were making you feel quite restricted, quite restrained, like you just were never going to measure up. You're leaving that behind and you're birthing this new, happier version of yourself. It feels like a real sense of freedom, a real sense of joy, but also could be this is where you start a family. Like if you're wanting children and you're wanting a lifelong partner, this move is setting you up for that. But again, it feels like the Empress energy, like you're creating a whole new life. And the Empress is, she's creation, she's the divine feminine. So this is going to be something that you've envisioned and that you just wait and you receive, okay? You receive that blessing. When I think of being in the energy of receiving, the Magician is setting the intention, right? Law of attraction, you set the intention. The Empress is when you receive it. You receive that blessing. So it's the divine feminine. You know, it's not action oriented. It's not going out here working hard trying to earn it. You are receiving a gift. You are receiving a blessing. You indirectly created it, right, when you set that intention, but you are receiving a blessing. You are receiving gifts from the universe. So try to get in that Empress energy, because it's going to help make this a lot smoother for you. Bottom of the deck, we have good cheer. It's like your happiness is being called back to you. It's almost like Spirit is saying, like, trust us, trust the signs and synchronicities that you're seeing. We're trying to point you where to go. Follow that. And it's going to be different for all of you. It's a general reading. Unfortunately, I can't tell you, hey, you're meant to move to England. You know, like, I can't tell you, hey, you're meant to move to I don't know, Hawaii. I can't tell you that directly, but I can tell you, listen to your heart, listen to your guides, you know, get in that Empress energy, go outside, ask for a sign, ask for a synchronicity. But I think you've already been getting them, and it's asking you to take that leap of faith, to trust, to go after it. And happiness is assured. You know, and honestly, like, you're going to be pushed towards it regardless. Wouldn't you rather make that choice for yourself than being pushed out with the tower crumbling? Because it's going to crumble eventually. You can stay in this comfort zone where you're unhappy, but you're comfortable, or you can take that leap of faith. And it's kind of saying, like, why postpone your happiness? The tower's going to fall because it's going to fall. It's not stable. You know, so whatever you're clinging to in your life, because it's what you know, let it go. It's not going to last anyway. Why postpone this happiness? This happiness isn't going to pass you by, but wouldn't you rather get it sooner, is what they're telling me. All right, how will your next home be blessed? What is the blessing on your home? This card will end your reading. This is the Virgin Mary, Our Lady of Guadalupe deck. And if you want to just view this as a blessing from the universe, that is fine as well. But how will the Divine Mother bless your future home? How will she bless your home? And honestly, you should probably think of it as the Divine Mother, because we were talking a lot about Empress energy, and I know in some tarot decks, Our Lady of Guadalupe, she represents the Empress. I can't recall the name of the deck I'm thinking about specifically, but I don't own it, so that's probably why. Oh, Our Lady of Charity. There's going to be help. There's going to be help. And if you think about charity, it's being given to those in need. You're in need of this move. And again, like this yellow, like, they're telling me, like, your next home is going to be in that energy of yellow. You know, the energy of optimism, joy, happiness. It's the sun coming back in. You're going to feel so confident, so good about yourself, where you're headed. Even the little boat here, again, like, there could be an overseas move here. Like, the move you could be making feels incredible, feels impossible, but you're going to be given help and assistance along the way. They're saying you're not going to be on your own. You're going to feel like you're on your own, but you're not. Even like the honeycomb around her here, you can kind of, I hope you can see that. Yeah, it feels like the hive, you know? It feels like you're this lost little bee, and you're going to be coming home to the hive. You know, you're going to find, and then even just the queen bee, right? The queen mother, like, you are going to be nurtured. You are going to be taken care of by spirit. There's a lot of honey. There's a lot of sweetness in your future. Milk and honey, like that kind of just comforting energy. You're going to feel so comfortable where you're headed. And I don't think you have felt comfortable in a long time. Where you're at, I don't think you have felt comfortable. And so the light is coming back in. You just have to take that leap of faith. And they're telling me they know it's not easy. They know it's terrifying. They know it's scary. They're not in any way minimizing it, but they're telling you it's okay that you're scared, but please do it anyway. Please do it anyway is what they're saying. Yeah. your heart's gonna feel so much joy is what they're telling me. So much joy, so much peace. But it's peace in the sense of like you can't stop smiling, you can't stop laughing, you know? It's peace where your heart feels like it's on fire in a good way, you know? I don't think you're gonna understand how much your current environment is draining you until you get out of it. And then I think you're gonna look back on that time in your life and say, how was I living in that? How was I I don't even think you fully grasp the way in which your living environment was holding you back until you get out of it. And there's this feeling of like coming home to the right people. Coming home to the right people. All right, pile 2, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope it brought you comfort, I think, more than anything. Some reassurance, some encouragement. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to watch the ads. A huge thank you for letting me do this reading for you today. It was a real privilege. I was so excited about this topic, and I hope that you all were as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Best of luck to you, pile 2, and I wish you well. All right, pile 3, welcome to your reading. Last but not least, if you chose the Green Witch Tarot, you are in the right place. So I will go ahead and say, just by the deck that you selected, obviously with it being the Green Witch Tarot, maybe you have a green thumb, maybe having a space for gardening, being around nature, or having at least access to that is something that is important to you. If not, just when I think of witches, I think of divine femininity, you know? And I think of being keyed into the environment, to the moon cycles, having a sense of ritual, having a sense of a practice, right? Because you know, it is a practice. It is something that you do. There's something that's very active about it. And so could be that the space that you're moving into allows you to express that divine femininity. Now, this isn't talking about gender. This is just that idea of creating a home, creating a sense of like feeling, creating an environment where you feel nurtured, whatever that means to you. So, for example, like if you feel really good when you take a nice hot bath and it's a ritual for you, you know, you make sure that you get all you know, like your bath salts or your bath bubbles or a bath bomb, and then you light some candles and you find a good book to read and you pour yourself a nice drink, you know, like whatever your preference is. You get maybe a little snack, some chocolates, some macarons, I don't know, like whatever you like to eat. You know, there's an element there of getting the space ready, you know, maybe you like to listen to music in the bath, or you know, something like that feels like you would have a space where you could do the practices, the rituals, the routines that are important to you. Like when you come home, you like to have a space to lay out all your things, or you like to have a space to lay out your outfit for the next day, or you like to have a space where you can cuddle with your pet and read a book. That one's a personal one for me. If you like to have a space where you can journal, play video games, like whatever is important to you, those little rituals, those little routines that you have throughout the day, you have space for that. There's this feeling of space that's coming through, like I have the space to do this, I have the space to do that. So whatever your hobbies or your interests are, you have space for that. So like if having a craft room would be important to you, you would have the space for that. So just take what resonates, you know, I'm just throwing out examples, but this could mean a lot of different things, right? Or if you work from home, having space for that, that could also be signaled. Let's see, again with the roses, there's this feeling of like, oh, I have fresh cut flowers, you know, in my house. I have kind of like bringing nature in, like even if you lived in a busy city, you would have like houseplants, you know, something connecting you to nature, something connecting you to the natural world in some capacity, in some way. And it doesn't have to mean like literal plants in your house. It could be that maybe you're someone who loves astrology, and so you have pictures of like the astrological constellations. You have some cool art prints, on your walls, and so that's connecting you to a part of nature, right? The sky. So you can take that in a way where it resonates for you personally. I also think of like, this is the Green Witch Tarot, but I also think of like cooking witches. So if you're someone who, again, like loves to bake, loves to cook, that's a hobby or an interest for you, or something you enjoy doing for your family, could definitely have like a nice kitchen. That could be a possibility as well. Let's see if I'm picking up anything else just from this deck here. Sorry, I'm just a little bit sniffly. I think that's everything. Let's get into the cards now. Thank you all for your patience when I need a second. All right, pile 3. What do we need to know about your future home? Pile 3. What do we need to know, please, Spirit, about pile 3's future home? What can you tell us? Pile 3. And a huge thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages. So pile 1 was pretty direct. We got a lot of clues and hints about where their next home would be, who they would be living with, the design, all that kind of stuff. For pile 2, completely different story. Like, completely different story. We got like a whole narrative about the move itself. There was a lot of focus on the move. So I'm kind of curious to see how your reading will play out, because pile 3 has a tendency to be like my wild card group. So we'll just see how it goes. Pile 3. What do we need to know about your future home? The colors in this deck also tend to be a bit darker. So you could like a little bit of a darker aesthetic in terms of like how you decorate. You may like some more even like earth tones or neutrals, but you also may just like darker colors. If you do use color when you decorate, you could just like some darker colors. I also feel like there's a lot of mood lighting in your home. Like we see a lot of fires here, right? And the lantern and the warm glow. It feels like a warm light in your house. Like you wouldn't use like the harsh like overhead white lights. You know what I'm talking about? The sort of blue lights. You would use like the yellow lights, or you would use candles or fairy lights, twinkle lights, things like that. I feel like lighting is just really important to you. I don't know why that's coming through. It's important to me too. Like it completely transforms a space. I actually want to get one more card for you. Okay. So we have the King of Wands. We have the 10 of, I don't know how to pronounce that actually, but it's the 10 of Swords. We have the Holly King or the Hermit. We have the 6 of Pentacles, and we have the 9 of Wands. Okay, a couple different things with this. Some of you have been through quite a significant ending with the 10 of Swords here. You've been through some sort of heartbreak, some sort of loss. You've really had to go through a period of healing, and I do think that it is in some way tied to your relationships. Some of you may have been through a divorce, a significant breakup, or even if this is just talking about your past, it does feel like you had to pull back a bit. With the Hermit card here, there's a period of like self-reflection, self-isolation, working on myself, what's my truth. So it kind of feels like maybe for a time you were kind of handling all the responsibilities on your own with the 9 of Wands. So that would work really well if we think about like going through a divorce, right? So you share a home with someone, you go through a divorce, and then all of a sudden that person isn't there anymore, and now all the household responsibilities fall to you. So something like that could have happened, or it could just be talking about you've gone through some heartbreak in your past, and now you're on your own and you're managing everything. So it kind of feels like you take on all the household responsibilities for yourself and you don't really quite ask for help. But it feels like whoever you live with next, because I don't think that you're gonna stay on your own for forever. I think this is talking about either your current energy or your past energy. It does feel like whoever you live with next, like a future romantic partner, or if you have a current romantic partner that you're not living with, when you move in with them, they are going to want to help you. They are going to want to share their either material resources, like financially help you, or they would offer help in terms of like the daily household chores and things that need to, you know, get done, like the cooking and the cleaning or the yard work. They would come and alleviate some of that burden from you. I actually want to clarify who this King of Wands is. Can we clarify the King of Wands? So it seems like your reading is kind of similar to pile 2, where we're getting a whole story. And it's funny too, I didn't mention this, with this deck, you can see some houses in the background here. And I feel like given the spread that we have already, kind of feels like you would live somewhere where there are distinct seasons. So there would be a winter season, there would be a summer season. It doesn't feel like you'll move somewhere where it's cold all the time or hot all the time. It feels like you'll live somewhere where, you know, the trees change their leaves, you know. That's just a message that's coming through. It also feels like you would have some yard space. Doesn't feel like you would live somewhere where you didn't have some sort of outdoor area. So even if you lived in a city with like a big apartment complex, feels like there would be a courtyard area, feels like there would be a park across the street. There would be some sort of, like I said, access to nature, to the environment. Some green space, you know? All right, can we clarify the King of Wands, please, Spirit? Ooh, we have 9 of Pentacles and we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so King of Wands, this is divine masculine energy, and this is Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. So if you're not personally resonating with the King of Wands, you're like, I really couldn't see myself showing up as a King of Wands. This is talking about some sort of love interest. I'll go ahead and say that, because it kind of feels like this person is quite financially secure, and they could be offering that 6 of Pentacles to you. They could be offering their resources. This is very financially stable, secure energy with the 9 of Pentacles. And the Ace of Wands talks about a new start, a new adventure. So it could be that maybe you're financially struggling, and the Hermit here, he's out in the cold, so maybe you don't have stable housing. I kind of honestly feel like the storylines here are getting intermixed. Like it is a bit like the stories here are overlapping. There's 2 narratives here. There's someone who has been through a divorce or a breakup, and they have a home and they are trying to manage everything on their own. And there's a second person who is struggling financially, doesn't have a very stable living environment for whatever reason. And both of these people are in this 10 of Swords, but for very different reasons. And both of them are overwhelmed and struggling, but for very different reasons. And so this person has the financial stability, but they don't have like they're missing the love, right? They're missing the nurturing. This person feels like they can take care of themselves, like they feel like they're okay being single. They're pretty all right with it, but they're lacking that financial stability. And because they're lacking that financial stability, that's all they can think about. Like, who even has time to think about love when you know, I don't have like fully stable housing for whatever reason, like either because they don't like their living situation, the rent's too high, they don't like their roommates, you know, whatever the case may be, they're unhappy. So it feels like these two people are coming together and giving each other what the other person needs. So, and the energy feels intermingled because, and I can't quite identify who you are, pile 3, and who they are. And I feel like it's because on the astral level, you're already connected. And so it feels like you just haven't quite met each other in the 3D yet, but it feels like this meeting is imminent. Like, I feel like within a year's time is what they're telling me, within a year. You know, timing is always in flux when we talk about these things. The future's not quite set in stone, but it feels like soon. It feels like soon, because it's, I'm struggling right now because it's very like this. Your energies are very mixed together. Yeah, so if you're not resonating with the King of Wands, then I would say this King of Wands, again, remember, talking about energy, not talking about gender, but this King of Wands feels like a romantic love interest coming forward, or this is you, and there's going to be, the Hermit is going to be the person that is going to be your romantic love interest. So the Hermit is Virgo energy, but you don't have to be a Virgo, honestly. When we get into the major arcana, it's less about the zodiac sign and more about someone being on their own, kind of out in the cold without a lot of family or friends or resources or people they can trust. They just trust their own light. And this is someone who's pretty isolated and in a self-reflective, like, healing mode. And the King of Wands here is, you know, again, coming off as like very adventurous. I kind of feel like this is the love interest just because we have the Ace of Wands and it's like someone offering something to you. But again, if you resonate with that King of Wands, then expect a romantic love interest to come forward who has been in hermit mode. I hope that makes sense because it's very, like I said, a little bit all over the place. I will say, like, wherever you're going to be living, it's going to be a very nice home. It's going to be very nice. Going to be, you know, a place that costs some money with the 9 of Pentacles. Can we get any more information about the actual house itself, about the home itself, where they will be living? Please, Spirit, can you tell us anything else? 3 of Wands. Okay, we see the ship here. So this could be quite a significant move. You could meet this person while you're traveling or while they are traveling. You could meet this person on vacation while they're on vacation. Could be that they are quite a distance from you, and that's why the Ace of Wands is here. Like, it's going to be an adventure. You're going to be moving to a totally new place. So this would be a pretty significant move. Something that you're not quite used to. Because even here, like, you can see the different styles of houses. Like, this kind of looks like a little, kind of like hut, because it's got the was it like hay, straw roof? And then here, it's like a kind of a classic little Tudor cottage. And you can see the snow here. Here, it looks like spring. And then here, there's, you know, this is a kind of, I guess, almost like Asian influence here with like the little awning here. And then all the detail and the shutters here, like it looks quite different, right? Like none of these houses really look the same. And so kind of makes me wonder, like, when you move with this person, are they going to say, like, let's buy a new home together, and then you get to look at options and you get to choose? Because again, this person's really financially well off. Or if this is you, you know what your financial status is. That's actually probably the easiest way for you to determine who, is like, what's your financial status? Because if you're watching this and you're financially struggling, then you know this love interest, this partner that's coming in is quite financially wealthy. So anyway, feels like you would get to take your pick. Like, you may move to be with this person, but they say, okay, let's go house hunting. Let's find a new home together. And you get to choose, you get to have some options. Can you tell us anything more about this move, about this? We have the High Priest here. Kind of wonder, like, are you guys trying to manifest this kind of lifestyle? You know, it's like the light is shining down, hope is here, freedom is here, adventure. Yeah, are you manifesting this? Yep, feels like you're manifesting a future spouse, a partner, a lifelong commitment. Yeah, absolutely. With the Two of Cups here, it's not just your home or move, it is a long-term relationship. It feels like feels like you prayed for this. It feels like you asked for this. Let's see here. Because even just the way they're like stirring this bowl here, like putting together a spell, you know, like asking for a blessing from the heavens, you know, kind of is giving me the kind of like the High Priestess and the Magician and the Empress, like all those energies coming together is kind of like the feeling here. Like I don't feel like you're a rookie at this, you know, like I feel like you are welcoming something big into your life. Yep, it feels like you've mastered a lot of energies, and that would explain a lot. Like if you are the Hermit, that's a very wise person. So feels like you have really looked into your own heart and said, what is going to make me happy and what is going to be of the highest good? And then you prayed for that and you sought that light and you found it. It's like you harnessed this energy of the law of attraction. You harnessed it and you manifested this. This is the result of your prayers. Yeah, determination. I feel like you were really committed to your hope here. You were like, I'm gonna manifest this lifestyle. Yep. And you banished anything that was holding you back here. So the Hermit, I think that if you're resonating with that energy, you had to separate yourself from people who were holding you back. You had to take quite a look at your life and say, what isn't working for me? What people are draining me? You know, what is not of my highest good? And where can I move to feel that? And I think it comes in the form of a person. Like I think there is a significant partnership that's going to offer you the sort of lifestyle that you've been wanting, you know, and whether that is financially or whether that's in terms of like love and the sort of nurturing connection that you've wanted, or a little bit of both there. I feel like that energy is coming through. I feel like you guys were quite bored also. It's just a sense of like wanting a fresh start, wanting a new adventure, you know, not wanting to keep having the same boring, monotonous, stagnant kind of energy, like really needing to feel revitalized, you know? You don't want to keep waking up and dreading your day. Divine guidance, yeah, it feels like there's a lot of divine support here. There's a lot of divine support. It feels like a prayer has been answered for you, which is beautiful. Takes some bravery though. You know, when this opportunity comes knocking, when you meet this person, it's gonna take some courage, right? Because you've been burned in the past, so it's gonna take some courage to get on that ship, get on that boat with the Three of Wands. Like metaphorically or literally, you know, it's gonna take some courage. I feel like you've dreamt about this person, or like I said, you've just had dreams, you've had visions of like what this would look like, what your future partner would be like, what your future home would be like, and it feels like those dreams are coming true. And maybe not in quite the way you expected it to, but you know, there's a lot of divine guidance here. I do think that this move is going to take a lot of planning. It feels, like I said, like a big move. It doesn't feel like something you could just, you know, it doesn't feel like you are, you know, moving to an apartment downtown. You know, like it doesn't feel like a simple move. It feels pretty significant. It feels like it would take some planning. If you're moving to another country, you know, getting your visa in order, getting your passport in order, it would take a lot of organization. But you're gonna feel like you won. You know, you're gonna, I feel like you've overcome a lot in your life, and you're gonna feel like you won, like you really won something here. It feels very special. It feels like you beat the odds. You know, I think if people looked at your life, where you were in that Ten of Swords energy and where you are now, they're gonna be like, how did they overcome that? How did they do it? But it's because of that resiliency and how you still believed in your dreams, how you still had hope, you still had faith that this could all work out. And it feels like you knew when to take action, but then you also knew when to just trust your guidance. And so, yeah, I feel like this is something you've been planning for a long time, but it's gonna seem like it happens overnight, like your life goes from night to day, you know. It's from the outside perspective, that's what it's going to look like. And people are going to say, how did this person almost like, how did this person finesse this? You know, because it's really going to feel that way. All right, pile 3, we're going to use the Virgin Mary, Our Lady of Guadalupe deck to find out how will the Divine Mother be blessing your home. So if you want to view this as just the universe, feel free to do so. It's all source. But we're going to be asking, how will the Divine Mother be blessing your home? How will she be blessing your home? Pile 3, how will she bless your home? This will be the card to end your reading. Our Lady of Dark Mysteries. Yeah, I do feel like there's some aspects of this that are hidden from you at this time, but I do feel like you making this move and you finding this new home, it's almost like you found it, but it also found you. You know, I think that all of this is in a way going to up-level your faith and your connection to the divine, because when this blessing comes, when this person comes into your life and they change everything, it's going to feel like it's almost going to confirm your own power and your ability to co-create and collaborate with the universe. Like if you believed before, but there was like a seed of doubt, or, you know, sometimes, you know, your faith was shaken, or, you know, you got discouraged, like, when is this manifestation going to come in? This feels like a confirmation of like, I'm not crazy, like, this is real, this is happening, I can do this, and my connection to source is real, it is legitimate, and I can trust in the mystery. I feel like you have so much more confidence in your faith and your ability to trust in the mystery of it all, and your ability to go through like future challenges in your life, you know, future difficult cycles that I'm sure you'll go through, as we all go through ups and downs. You'll be able to meet them with such grace in the future because you'll have this trust, this faith that it's all going to work out, and if it hasn't worked out, it's not the end yet, it's all going to be okay. Like, this is life, you know, you're understanding the cycles. I think we talked about that in the very beginning with you choosing the Green Witch Tarot, and I was saying with like witches, you think of connection to Mother Gaia, and you think of connection to the cycles, right? The moon cycles, the cycles in terms of the seasons. And I even said you were going to live somewhere where there were seasons. I feel like you are really connected in a way that you haven't been connected before. It's like you've got one foot on the earth and one foot in the mystical, and the mysticism and the mystery, you know, and you've achieved that balance, like with temperance, you've achieved the balance, and so you move with grace through these cycles. And that's how the Divine Mother is blessing you, and it's that she pulls you into her arms, and when she pulls you into her arms, you're in the darkness, right? Like your face would be against her chest, right? Your eyes would be closed, you would be in the darkness, but yet you would know you would be safe because you're being held, right? She's holding you. So sometimes when it's dark, sometimes when things are not quite clear, it doesn't mean that you're not being held. And I think that if you were resonating with that hermit energy, then you understand that, and I don't even need to say it. I think you would already know it. But pile 3, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brought you some comfort, clarity, whatever you needed. I hope it brought it to you. A huge thank you for letting me do this reading. I enjoyed it so much. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to do any of those things, but also to watch the ads. I know that can be an inconvenience, but I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care, pile 3. Best of luck to you in your journey, and well wishes.